Good afternoon. The House of Representatives Committee on Appropriations recommends reducing the budget of the Office of the Vice President for Social Services and realign them to programs of other government agencies. In a press briefing on Thursday, September 12, Appropriations Panel Senior Vice Chair Stella Kimbo says the realignment would go to programs under the Department of Social Welfare and Development and the Department of Health. Kimbo reveals that they have slashed the OVP's proposed 2 billion peso budget by over half, or 1.293 billion pesos. She says the panel's recommendation is to give Vice President Sara Duterte's office 733.2 million pesos, similar to the level of former Vice President Leni Robredo's 2022 budget. Kimbo says the committee took into consideration the OVP's redundant social programs and problems with implementation and utilization rates of its funds. The OVP was supposed to be present at the House panel's hearing on September 10 as deliberations on their proposed budget on August 27 were deferred due to Duterte not directly answering lawmakers' questions. However, neither Duterte nor any representative from the OVP was present to address the questions, with the Vice President opting to send a letter to inform them that the OVP had already submitted the necessary documents to the House panel. Duterte, in a video interview shared on September 11, said she does not mind having the OVP totally defunded as she sees it as a part of an alleged coordinated attack against her. The Philippines and China agreed to continue discussions on areas of cooperation concerning the West Philippine Sea as top foreign affairs officials of the two nations exchanged views on recent developments in the disputed waters. In a statement on Thursday, September 12, the Department of Foreign Affairs says Undersecretary Maria Teresa Lazaro had a frank and candid exchange of views with Chinese Vice Foreign Minister Chen Xiaodong on managing the situation in the West Philippine Sea, including Escoda Shoal. According to the DFA, the Philippines emphasized its consistent position that Escoda Shoal lies within its exclusive economic zone and explored ways to lower tensions in the area. In a separate statement, China says it would firmly uphold its supposed sovereignty, reiterating its demand for the immediate withdrawal of the Philippine vessels in the area. Nonetheless, both the Philippines and China agreed to continue talks on disputed waters, particularly on hotline mechanisms, Coast Guard cooperation, and marine scientific and technological cooperation. The exchange took place during the bilateral consultation mechanism held in Beijing on September 11. The DFA notes that the last bilateral consultation mechanism held in July led to a common understanding on managing the situation at the Ayungin Shoal. Escoda Shoal has become a new flashpoint in the maritime row between Manila and Beijing, with the Philippine Coast Guard recording 5 incidents of harassment by Chinese vessels in only a month. On August 31, a Chinese Coast Guard vessel rammed and collided with the BRP Teresa Magbanwa 3 times, despite no provocation from the PCG. BRP Teresa Magbanwa has been anchored at Escoda Shoal since April amid the continued presence of Chinese militia in suspected reclamation activities. China claims sovereignty over most of the South China Sea, including the West Philippine Sea, but a 2016 arbitral ruling has invalidated these claims. President Bongbong Marcos will skip the United Nations General Assembly this month as he has limited his trips for the rest of 2024, according to Philippine Ambassador to the United States, Babe Romualdez. Romualdez, in a message on Thursday, September 12, says Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo will instead represent Marcos at the 79th session of the UN General Assembly, which will be held in New York City from September 22 to 23. According to Press Secretary Cesar Chavez, Manalo's agenda in the Assembly includes articulating the country's responses to global challenges. Asked if there will be bilateral talks with China on the sidelines of the UNGA, Romualdez says there will be none. Last year, Manalo also represented the Philippines at the UNGA on behalf of President Marcos and highlighted the collective responsibility of all nations to preserve a rules-based global order. He also emphasized the Philippines' position of advocating peaceful settlements while defending the country's sovereignty when it comes to disputes in the West Philippine Sea. The Philippines has been embroiled in a long-standing maritime row with China, which claims the majority of the South China Sea, including the West Philippine Sea, through its so-called 10-dash line. However, China's claims were effectively invalidated by a July 2016 International Tribunal ruling. China has consistently ignored the ruling and continued to encroach on the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. The Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission is seeking the court's permission to excavate locations within the compounds of two raided Philippine offshore gaming operators in Tarlac and Pampanga amid suspicion that they bore remains of many torture victims. In a television interview, PAOCC spokesperson Winston Casio says the agency has applied for a search warrant in order to inspect and excavate the locations at the Lucky South 99 compound in Porac, which witnesses claim became burial grounds for foreign nationals. Citing testimonies from the victims, Casio says Lucky South 99 has developed a reputation in the Pogo industry as a torture area. According to Casio, their operatives believe the alleged graves at the Pogo hub would provide additional evidence to bolster the criminal charges of qualified trafficking lodged against 54 personalities. PAOCC and the Philippine National Police Criminal Investigation and Detection Group earlier filed qualified human trafficking charges against Cassandra Lee Ong and 53 others for their alleged role in the operations of the Lucky South 99 scam farm. Casio says the charges were filed based on the sworn statements of 10 Chinese witnesses who supposedly had direct first-hand knowledge of the cases of torture, kidnapping, and abduction committed at the Pogo hub. The PAOCC official says 4 Filipino witnesses also gave accounts of torture, kidnapping, and forceful abduction at the Lucky South 99 and have all pointed to Ong as the person responsible. Ong is an incorporator to Whirlwind Corporation, which leased land to Lucky South 99. She was repatriated back to the Philippines in August after she and Sheila Guo were apprehended in Indonesia. These are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good afternoon.